Okay, so usually I start with a little holiday, spontaneous, and I don't know what I'm going to say. Sometimes I have at least an idea. Like the last 2 weeks ago, the idea simplicity was in my head, so that came up. This week I didn't have anything to say, so I was chatting with a friend, and I said I have nothing to. I said I don't know what to talk about today. I got nothing, and she said that's perfect. So that's what we'll talk about today. So let's just see. Let's see. I never know where this is going to go, but it always goes here to freedom. So let's just see let's see what comes when we just do this together. We'll just be here together. So the basis of my work is I call it a holiday, and that just means holiday is what the word implies. It's just being just on holiday from everything, and I mean everything. So let's relax the focus of attention. So that attention isn't attending to anything in particular, thoughts or feelings, sensations, sounds, even my voice. Just for a moment, don't attend to anything in particular. Just allow attention just to be open. If I may suggest, keep your eyes open for this, because if we close the eyes, closing the eyes is fine, but then we maybe start getting more into a meditative thing where you're focusing on sort of yourself, the feeling here. You know, when you close your eyes, you sort of start going sort of inward into inward attention. And that's not what I don't want that. That's not what we want to do, because then we end up focusing. So I want to be fully open, all of the senses functioning. There's nothing wrong with any of the senses. We're not escaping anything. But just fully open, aware, not attending to anything in particular. Maybe very quickly, some thoughts will come. No problem. There's nothing wrong with thoughts. But what happens with thoughts is when thought appears, and then our habit is to attend to those thoughts, which is fine. But for now, for the purpose of what we're doing, if thoughts appear and then attention goes to thoughts, when you notice that attention has gone to thoughts, no problem. But in that noticing, stop. And again, allow attention just to be open and not attending to anything in particular. In this not attending to any one thing in particular, and you just have to be, you can see, because the intention can go to a feeling or a sound or a thought or whatever. And it's all perfectly fine, but just notice when it does. And then in that, just for a moment only for a moment, just for a moment, don't attend to anything. Just see that attention is open and free, not attending to anything. Just see for a moment. So when we're not attending to one thing in particular, what we can recognize is that everything is here, isn't it? Because when we're attending to one thing in particular, that's becomes the locus of attention and the focal point, and it takes up all of the space of our knowing, especially intense thoughts and emotions. Those are the most compelling. And that you can create an entire world of focused attention, and the whole locus of attention is on that world, and there's nothing left, nothing else. But when we allow attention to be open and free, we see, in fact, everything is included equally, everything. And try to notice also, you can call it aware or knowing. I prefer knowing. Try to recognize that knowing is not inside the body. And then there's a line at the skin, and then the world begins. See that knowing is ubiquitous. Knowing isn't stuck somewhere. Knowing is omnipresent, you see. Everything is included in knowing. What's not included in knowing? Well, let's find out. But first, let's just see one more thing. Knowing, not knowledge or information or anything like that, but knowing can, of course, it only can be now, can it? It can only be knowing presently now, obviously. So then what's not included in knowing? The past, for example. There's no past, is there? All of the so-called stories we have, those stories don't exist. Do they exist? No, they don't exist. They're not true. So knowing includes everything that is actual now, but what it doesn't include is myths like the past and all the stories of the past. It may include a thought about a story of a past, but it doesn't include any events that story is telling a myth about, you see. The actual if a thought is telling a story, that story is not actual. It's only a thought now, right? So what's not included in knowing, in truth, is something called a past. Because why? Because it's not true. It's not actual. Knowing only includes what's actual, and that's everything that is. The past is not. And the future, the same. That fantasy of future is not, it's not, there's no such thing. So let's just be open knowing now. There's no such thing as past or future. Forget it. Just open knowing now. Truth is what is. Truth is what is. If it is not, then it's not true. Then it's a story of some sort. And what is presently known now only. We can get more subtle in our understanding of that as well. Whatever you see appearing now also has no substance either. So it's not actually true in that sense, but forget that for a minute. That's fine. I don't care to go that subtle right now, but I want to see just now is what is true. Whatever, ever the objects in your room, a sound that's happening now, a thought that's appearing now, that's what's true or actual. Any story of past or future is completely a lie. Some teachers say only the real is true. Only the real is true. What does that mean? That only just means what is now. Anything else is not true. Let's see what else is not true. We've all read all the spiritual books, haven't we? How many spiritual books have we read? Between us all here, hundreds, thousands maybe. So many words, so many philosophies, descriptions. Look now. Where are they? Those are not true. My book is not true. Look now. All the books and all the philosophies and ideas and concepts we have, the concepts, oh my God, the concepts of this and that and enlightenment and freedom and liberation and what's going to happen in the future and what happened in the past and all the, look now, where is it? It's not true. If we want to know what's true, then we have to give up everything that's false. And it's very simple. Everything that's false is only what is not true now. And what is not true now is every single Ramana Maharshi book, because where is it now? If you want to know what's true, they say you have to kill the Buddha. What is the Buddha? Some guy? No, the Buddha is all of your stories. That's the Buddha. All of your spiritual concepts, all of the books. That's the Buddha that has to be killed. And how was it killed? By just seeing that it's not here. It's not true. There's no truth to any of it. What's true is you. You are true. Look. Can we live without those books? And the next video on YouTube, and the next book we're going to buy, and the next book we just read, and the next this? Can we live with nothing like that? Nothing. Being free means living free now. Being free isn't something that's going to happen in the future after you read the next book. Being free is living free now with nothing. Nothing. That's the topic of this talk. Nothing. See, those books are not, this is what has to be seen. By nothing, it doesn't just mean those books, it means you, the you that's not true. The you that is, the I that is true. The I that is not is the you that you've believed yourself to be your whole life, the self character. By nothing, I mean there is no self character. There's nothing. That you that you've believed yourself to be your whole life does not exist. It's not true. It's a lie. So if you look to find that person, that character that you believed yourself to be, and if you're honest, you'll see there's nothing. Look now, where is it? Those books that are in your head are not separate from you. Those are you, the you that you think you are. When you get rid of those books in your head, you're getting rid of the false you. You see, when a spiritual concept is in your head, that is a you appearing, an ego self thing. When that book goes, you go. You see, there's nothing. What's left, and these are words, but even these words have to go. I have to say this, but can use a few words that are not objectifiable at all, but they're just a few words to show, but then those go. There's nothing. Like the word now, for example. There's nothing called the now. There's no now in that way, like a thing. It's just the word that points you to get out of the false and into the true. That's all. And I like to use the word knowing because whatever objects that are appearing now are known. So knowing and is not an object, knowing is not a thing. But you can see now knowing, you see. Existence is another existence. You can say I exist, not as a thing or as what or as anything. Just I exist, period. Sat Chit Ananda. Existence, knowing itself. But that word has to go. So I throw that word out and just nothing. Nothing. Can you just be nothing is my question. Look. Not a Buddhist or a non-dualist or an Advaitist or whateverist, nothing. Nothing, no word. And can you know nothing also? Can you not know the future and the concepts of enlightenment in the books that we've read? You see, can we not know anything? Knowing, but not knowing anything in particular. And can we have nothing, a desire for freedom even, a concept of something, nothing, we have nothing, know nothing, we are nothing. Can we just be, period? Of course, our cultures and religions, we have not been taught this our whole lives, so this is not something we're used to being nothing. We are used to being something a lot, as a matter of fact. And special and unique and individual and the doer and free will and you and a Christian and an American and a European and an Indian and so many things that you supposedly are. So I ask, can you be nothing? If you want truth, then you look now and see. If you want truth, you don't think about what's true in the future or the past. You look now and see what's true now and see that there's nothing behind the curtain. There's only nothing. And if one wants to really know freedom, and one first has to recognize this, I say, in my opinion, view, this is what freedom is, this nothing. Obviously, there's no self here, there's no past, there's no future, there's nothing, it's freedom. But if one wants this to be their natural condition, then one has to live this, not just have a recognition once on a call like this. One has to live. It doesn't owe, and I don't mean by walking around all the time being on a holiday like some kind of zombie. I don't mean that, but just continually knowing this freedom until it becomes just your second nature, your first nature, actually. So that it's known to you. This is that I am not any of the false. What I am is the true, nothing.